Pew pew! Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of EXCL Garage. Now in this episode, we're going to be doing something quite simple. We're going to be cleaning the engine bay of the GT86. Just get the bonnet open, hop in, and I'll show you why we're going to be cleaning it up. Right, so here we are. So I don't really intend for this video to be kind of a how-to. If your engine bay is absolutely filthy, if you've got, various oils everywhere or some kind of anti-rust agent splattered all over the place, it's going to be a kind of spring clean video, how best to go about giving your engine bay a little refresh. If it's not too bad, if it's a little bit dusty, a little bit grimy, things like that. If you do want to watch a video on how to really clean up a grimy, old, maybe a little bit rusty, maybe a bit oxidized engine bay, I recommend you go watch a video from Chris Fix It. I watched that myself a few years ago and, well, it really brought up this engine bay when it was in much need of attention. But the process is quite simple for today and it's absolutely safe. All we're going to really be using is a little bit of all-purpose cleaner, some steam and a couple of brushes and a microfiber towel. Very simple. Being that we're using steam, it's not going to be a huge amount of water getting around on all the electrics, but what I will do is I'll cover up the battery. But let's get everything out, get ready, and we'll go from there. Put some gloves on, rather than get all the dirt that's going to come off all over me. So as I said, personally, I'm going to use some all-purpose cleaner. This isn't any brand in particular, it's actually just a little concoction I mixed up, and a soft bristle brush. Really, you shouldn't need that much more than that. A lot of the heavy lifting is going to be done by this by a little steam cleaner. Pew pew!
On fire.
Pew, 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 pew. And this is just a little one I picked up off eBay. It's about £40, I think. And yeah, you can do a whole lot of it. It's actually quite useful for cars. Anything that's greasy and grimy, heat goes a long way to get it off, plus a little bit of pressure from the steam. And if you have any particularly stained seats or whatever, they often come with little upholstery attachments, so you can do your seats with them. And finally, to finish it all off, I'm going to use some kind of dressing. Water-based is particularly important, but any kind of oil-based dressings, probably won't react to heat particularly well, but also any dust and grime that gets into the engine bay will stick to them. So water-based is always the way to go. So let's get started. So it's always good to go in small sections rather than try and tackle the whole thing at once. So I'm going to start around the suspension, the ABS module here, then probably work a little bit in towards the injectors, around the cowling, and doing the other side, and then probably tackle the inlet manifold and the accessory covers and so on. So, just going to spritz a load of this on, kind of work it in. And half the reason I'm doing this is, of course, to enter the car in various show and shine competitions and so on. Hopefully get a few points for having a particularly clean engine bay. I wouldn't say this is in full detail, but I think it definitely does a pretty good job. Right, so now that I've worked around that area, let's get some steam on it. Gonna work that in again. And we're going to come in and just dry it all off with the microfiber towel. There we go, that's one section done, on to the next. Right, sorry to have you guys in a bit of a tilt there, but I just thought I'd bring you in for a bit of a close-up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you want to be quite gentle, especially around, for me, around this area. I've got a headlight here with connectors. I've got, like I said, the ABS module of connectors. I've got cam solenoids of connectors. I've got a MAF of a connector. Lots of electrical connectors, so I've got to be quite careful. Hence using a nice soft bristle brush. It's nice and gentle, not using too much moisture, too much water. We're not using a pressure washer. So it's just everything, super gentle. And so as I say, I'm just spritzing the area with some cleaner. Let's get in there a little bit. Let's get this intake pipe done. Agitating it around with a brush. Some of these areas here, like the seals, the bonnet, they're going to be the most dirtiest, and they really come up nice. Move into the engine itself afterwards. Let's introduce a little bit of steam. Don't want to go crazy. Give it all another brush. Loosen up any grime or dirt. Oil this washer cap nice and bright again. Got a few bits down here I can reach, so why not? There we go, and then we come in with the cloth. Let's start wiping it up. Really get in there, get this intake pipe. Silicone coupler. There we go, I mean look at that, I mean look how filthy the cloth is. It's all coming up quite nicely. This paint isn't the shiniest, the glossiest in the engine bay, but it's coming up quite nicely. Of course this is nice and yellow again, this is nice and clean. You know, considering it's a satin black surface, it's coming up nice. Like I said, we're going to move this way at the end, so we won't worry about that just yet. Get these hard to reach areas down here if you can. There we go, let's move on to the next area. Right, and now that I've done all the way around the engine, I want to tackle the engine itself. Now I like to split this into sections as well. You can split it into halves. And what I've already done is I've already tackled the back. Not getting too far in there. Of course, there's the gearbox, there's some ECUs and so on. But I've just tackled like the strut braces, the heater pipes, the brake booster and the clutch and brake reservoirs up there. And now I'm just going to tackle the kind of this area here. Get the oil filter, the inlet manifold, the accessory cover here. And doing this sort of thing really also helps to when you work on your car. Of course, if everything's nice and clean, then you don't get dirt in your eyes, you can easily spot oil leaks. It just makes it a much nicer environment in literally every scenario. Let's get the steam. The heat from the steam really helps to lift the dirt that's really kind of stuck in, like the text on the oil filler cap and so on. Brilliant. Let's move on to this side. Again, just give everything a spritz. In comes the steam. Now that everything's done and all the watery kind of bits are done, I'm going to pull off the covering for the battery. Can always give that a quick wipe down, just remove any dust. Don't want to use anything on it or near it really. Get on the firewall around it that I couldn't get before. There we go. Now we're going to give everything a quick once over with some dressing. So like I said, I've just got some water-based dressing here, and I'm not going to go crazy with it. As you can see, everything looks relatively clean already. So I'm just going to use a bit on the microfiber towel itself. Just rub it into these plastic surfaces, or any black surfaces really. Just go around. Rubber hoses. And this cowling here. There we go. And it all looks factory fresh. Perhaps I could do a little bit of a before and after. So here you go, before. And after. And there we have it, guys. One very clean, fresh looking engine bay. Smells quite nice as well. And you'll be really surprised how far this kind of small maintenance engine bay wash will go. If you don't drive your car through the winter months too much, you can probably get away with it doing it just once a year. If you drive it through the winter months, maybe do it 2 or 3 times a year, you know, maybe after winter, at the beginning of winter. It will stay looking fresh like this for a long, long time. As I say, it's not really the thing you want to do if your engine bay is absolutely filthy, grimy, oily and so on. You really want to use proper engine degreaser. But really guys, that's it for today. Little quick one. Hopefully it's probably taken me about 20-30 minutes or so. Not too long at all. And the results you can get from it are really, really good. But for now guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching along as always. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like. If you think some of your friends could benefit from this little video, share it around. And as always, please consider subscribing to the channel. But that's it for now guys. Hope to see you next time. Cheers. Bye for now. Ugh, really regret doing that now. I need to open the engine bay again.